played guard, and now if you look to your right, and so thin over there, how do you help those guys?
I just try to give them the best advice and make sure that they're squared away to go, ready to go on Saturday. Thankfully, we have Fincher, who's played some reps these past 2 games, so he kind of has a feel for it and kind of knows about it. So I think we're in a good spot.
How long does it take to get a guy ready to play at this level at that spot?
I just think it comes with reps, both mental and physical, on the practice field and in the meeting room, to kind of see what you need to do that week, what they do, what we're going to do, all that stuff.
Have you taken any reps at guard at all, either in camp or now?
No, I think I took a little bit in the spring, but that's Coach M's decision, so no.
So how do you bring a guy along next to you, especially guys that haven't played a lot of snaps there?
Thankfully, we have Fincher, who played a lot last year, so he kind of understands the speed of the game. The only difference now is that he's at guard, not center. So thankfully, these past 2 weeks, he's kind of gotten some reps there and gotten some high-level reps where we need to go win the game. So
having done that yourself, how is the transition either from a center to guard? Because he played a lot of center.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, guard's easier just because you don't have to make any calls, you don't have to snap the ball. So I think there's a lot more freedom with it. But I think he's confident in it, and he's gotten enough reps at it, both in individual and team reps, all that stuff. So I think he's in a good spot.
He's your backup at center, too?
Yeah.
So if you have an equipment issue and you got to come out for a couple plays and he comes in at center, who's the guard?
Guess we'll see when that happens. That's Coach M's decision. Knock on wood, hopefully that doesn't happen. So, yeah, I don't know.
Or would it be a situation where they would go with, like, turf shove instead, quick in and out?
They could. He got some reps last week and looked pretty good. So that's always a thought. But thankfully, I don't need to make those decisions. Just got to play the game.
The crowd noise, I heard that bumping in. I guess what's it like preparing for, obviously it's a special week for them with the Red Band, the game and the challenge.
I think it's going to be a cool atmosphere. Obviously, growing up as a kid, you always watch College Game Day on this game, and they always talk about it, and it's going to be cool to kind of experience it, but it's just going to be like another loud game. We're going to expect it, and we're going to be ready for it, but it should be fun.
What's the loudest stadium environment atmosphere you played in your time?
Probably Oregon or Washington.
Tanner, what kind of numbers like physicality at the line of scrimmage? Do you guys see that on tape, I guess? Is that accurate? And just how much are you guys looking forward to sort of seeing where you guys are in that department? And enforcing your own physicality, that type of stuff. How important is that going to be in this game?
I think, their physicality jumps out first thing you see. And I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a good test for us. I think they're obviously a really good team. So if we think we're the team that we think we are, then we got to go out there and prove it. And testing yourself against the best is what you want to do in those situations. So it should be a fun one.
When you looked at the run game through 3 weeks, just what do you see? Where are you guys at? How close are you to maybe getting something put together, you think? Just what's your evaluation of that whole deal?
I think each week we've kind of taken a step in the right direction. So I think it's just continuing to take those steps and make this thing go. I think we need better execution all around and be more consistent, but I think we're taking steps in the right direction, so I think it should be fun.
This would be a pretty good week for something to pop for you guys, do you think, would you say? Like, and put something out. If it were to click in this game, would that be big?
I think it'd be really good for us to have it click this game going into conference play, so excited to see it, excited for us to take another step.
Executing better, is that make identifications, communications on the fly based on the front and so forth, just getting used to one another, or is that some of the things?
Yeah, communication's part of it, and then just making adjustments on the fly and kind of trusting your technique. Don't try to be perfect, just try to be good and play fast. So I think that's
you experience conference and non-conference success. What do you do as a leader to help the team stay level-headed but still be excited and aggressive going into the rest of the schedule?
I think it's just every team we play from here on out is going to be a big-time team that we can beat anybody, we can lose to anybody. And I think having that approach that we need to be on our stuff so we can go out and win is from here till November, we're playing some big-time teams. So if we're not squared away, we're going to get punched in the mouth. So we need to be on our P's and Q's so we can go out there and do our thing.
Coach Smith talked about the difference of going on the road. What is it like for you preparing for a road game and going on the road compared to playing at home?
Biggest thing for me is just communication. Obviously, the crowd noise is going to be a big factor when we're on the field. So making sure that from tackle to tackle, we're all on the same page making sure our receivers know what we have and what we're going to do, making sure the running backs know our communication. So over-communicate, make sure everybody's on the same page is, I think, the biggest thing on road games.
3 games into the season, what have you thought about Aiden Shaw's, and what areas have you seen him just mature or develop over the course of those weeks?
I think he's getting a lot more snaps, so it's a lot different than what happened where he was at last year. But I think he's kind of coming into the rhythm of things and kind of getting in sync with the receivers, getting in sync with everything and part of the game. So I think he's taking a lot of good steps in the right direction.
I couldn't remember your snap count last year, but you didn't come off the field the first 2 games, and you didn't come off until late last
Yeah.
week. Is that the most you played in a stretch like that in your career?
Probably because Coach M wanted me to get some center reps just in case stuff went down. But, yeah, I think last year I think I had the highest snap count on the team. So, yeah.
What's the difference snapping to Aiden and Tommy?
I don't know. I think both of them have great pocket presence. I think both of them don't really take sacks. They avoid. But I like both of them extremely.
As a captain,
Yeah.
what can you say, what can you do to help Dooley and Gavin with what they're going through now?
My biggest thing is to stay involved. Is like their role on this team is not just to rehab themselves. They need to be in the meeting room to get everybody on the same page, because they might see something that all 15 of us in the room might not see. So each person is vitally important to our success, and even when you're injured, we need your help too. On the sidelines, be like, hey, you're getting a little high in your pass set. Something like that that could help the team win, and we need that.
Psychologically for them, how long does it take a guy when they know that their season's over to get back to where they're functional?
I think everybody's different. Everybody takes it a different way. Thankfully, I've never had to deal with that, so hopefully I never have to. But I think staying involved is the biggest thing, because if you're outside the building and you're just staying home, then you feel like an outsider and you're not a part of the team. But if you're in these walls and you're lifting with the team and you're in a meeting room, it's like you're still playing, it's just you're not. So I think still being a part of the team and having a role on this team is huge when you got guys like that.
Do you feel like you're getting more comfortable with Luke next to you? The more you guys practice, the more you guys play, and are you feeling that showing up in games and even day-to-day in practice? And then is it a challenge for you to have a third guard coming in? I know Dallas is a veteran, but you're new here, and they're in left guard. How's that process coming along? Do you think like you and Luke are coming along?
Yeah, I think so. I think me and Luke are he's starting to see things the way I see things, and vice versa. So I think we're kind of starting to gel and starting to play off of each other and get a feel for each other. And with new guards, yeah, a little bit. But I think with the way we practice and we do a lot of things together, so I think that we're going to have the same synchrony that we always have.
I don't know if you've been asked this, but Smith was talking about Rakeem Johnson possibly moving in and playing some guard for true freshmen to learn 2 positions, position of need now with that going on. How difficult is that for Rakeem? How big a task would that be for him?
So far, I've been really impressed with him, actually. So I think he has a high ceiling. I think he's going to be something special here. And I think from what he's shown in camp and in the summer, I think he's going to be a guy that can help us out a lot. Now, that's Coach M's decision whether he plays or not. But if he comes in there, I'm not scared that he's in there. I trust him fully.
So how excited are you? 3-0, the season's gaining some traction. What's that like?
It's cool to be 3-0, but now it's just on to the key. We just need to keep this thing rolling and keep getting better each week, because our opponents just keep getting better and better and better and better as the season goes on. So, yeah.
What do you thought about the D-line play from these guys? You went against it in spring and camp, obviously. They come out in 3 games and seems to do some good. I'm just wondering how much I know you're busy during the games, but how much you've seen of that, just what stands out about those guys?
I think they've been awesome. I think especially in the first game, they kept us in that thing, no doubt, and they had our back. But that was the same thing we were seeing all camp, and that's what was giving us fits, is what they're doing to other teams. So I love it. I love seeing those guys fly around and have fun, and I think they've been killing it out there. Can't wait to see them this Saturday.
Tanner, you were saying that you guys got better from each game to the next. Where do you feel like you guys have grown the most as a defensive line?
I think just all being on the same page and communication. I felt like the first game we were kind of iffy on communication, And I put that on myself. Even if it wasn't, I put it on myself. So the next week I put an emphasis on over communicating, making sure we're all on the same page, because that's the biggest thing is if we're on the same page, we can all be on the wrong page, but if we're all together, we're going to be fine.
I imagine you're taking those same steps with the tight ends, with the fullbacks and stuff like that, so everything's kind of running a little smoother.
Yeah. You just need to make sure that they hear my communication, they see it, they see what we're doing, so everybody can go the right direction.
Tiny Hopper seems to be getting a little bit of traction at fullback.
Yeah.
What does he give you?
I think he's a big physical guy that is not afraid to put his nose in there. I saw on Nate's run, he was in there making a big play. So I think he adds some depth to that position, and he's a solid player.
So to kind of circle back to the injuries, how do you think the group has responded as a whole, and then are you aware of what they're doing for recovery on the back end?
So for Gav and Dooley, I don't know what's happening with them, but for us, it's kind of the next man up mentality. We can't control what happens out there, but what you can control is how you prepare and who's next up on the depth chart, and taking the practice reps like it's a game, so that once you get in the game, it just comes natural too. Yeah.
I feel like these games will be, obviously, you'd like to be on schedule, more on offense. I know you guys have done a great job up there in the long, but usually you'd like to be third and short a little bit more.
Yeah, I think obviously there's a lot to clean up in our game, and I think being more consistent as an O-line is where I see we need to take the next step, and hopefully we can do it this week and help our other guys on offense out and help them do their job.
Do you think like what you guys did at Maryland, winning on the road, but in the fashion you did by coming back from like 3 deficits, just like helps prepare you to go into maybe even a more hostile environment, like gives you the confidence that even if you're down, you're not out?
Yeah, I think it helped. I think it helped morale on the team, but I also think it helped that we were in a position where we needed to drive the ball down, run the clock out, and kick a field goal to win it. I think that was huge, and we practice that scenario all the time, but getting a live game rep of it, I think, because now if we have to do it this game, we've been there before, so we kind of have a feel for it. So I think that experience of doing it in game is huge for us.